Hey horror fiends, this is Dr. Chris with Dread Central's YouTube page. We take another character from the media and go over a bit of their comic book background. And this time, it's a character that hasn't been in the media, in television or movies or anything in like years since her television series was canceled back in 2003. We're talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, who's launching season 11 last week or this week. Issue 1 came out, as well as season 11 of Angel. Now, this might seem a little bit confusing for anyone not familiar, but Buffy has been having a renaissance in the comic books for the last, I'd say, 6 years. It started with Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 8, and then Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 9, as well as Angel and Faith Season 9, Buffy and Vampire Slayer Season 10, and Angel and Faith Season 10. And now we're launching Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 11 with Angel Season 11. They've dropped Faith from the subtitle. Not sure why yet, as I haven't picked up Angel number 1. Let's go back in time a little bit. Back when the TV series was first on the air, Dark Horse Comics put out a slew of Buffy the Vampire Slayer comic books, including taking Joss Whedon's original draft of his script for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie, the one that came out in 1992, starring Donald Sutherland and Kristen Swanson, and turning it into a origin that more fits the TV series, all the while keeping most of the elements from the movie intact. They had a big argument with the studio and walked off the set because they changed a bunch of things. And a lot of things changed in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie. And that's, he wanted to do a comic book that kind of retcons the movie events a bit, such as the fact that in the movie, Buffy starts as a senior, but when we pick up the TV series, in season 1, she is a sophomore. Dark Horse Comics put out a bunch of Buffy comic books. They put out a Spike and Drew comic book. They put out the Angel miniseries, and they all kind of wove in and out of the events of the TV series. Nothing that was really officially canon, other than, of course, the it was like more of an expanded universe, like they did with Star Wars. And then Buffy the Vampire Slayer ended. Then we got Angel. Angel had a series of comic books over at IDW. And this was to show us what happened after the events of Season 5 of Angel. They had a bunch of series where Angel is kind of doing his detective thing, and he's teamed up with Gunn, and he teamed up with the Fred Demon Blue Smurf creature girl. And then they decided to do an entire in-continuity canon written by Joss Whedon story called After the Fall, explaining what happened to Angel immediately after Season 5, like when they go rushing into the alley. That continuity spills over into Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, the Buffy comic books, I'm going to give you kind of a quick rundown on what happened in the individual seasons. Spoilers galore. Letting you know right now, if you have not read the comic books, I am going to be spoiling a bunch of stuff. In Season 8 of Buffy, Buffy takes all the Slayers who've been like turned on, I guess if the word, their powers have been switched on, and creates a Slayer army. The United States government doesn't like that so much, so they team up with a guy named Twilight and a bunch of rogue demons to go after Buffy and the Slayers. Riley shows up, and Dawn starts dating Xander, and she turns into a giant, then she turns into like a centaur, and Spike left, and he's back on Earth, and he's been hanging out with a bunch of space cockroaches. The military is teamed up with Anya, and the guy who killed Tara, and eventually Twilight is revealed to be Angel. He merged with this god, and he's no longer a vampire, and now he's like a super god, and him and Buffy bang a lot and create a new universe through their sexual energy. And then it's revealed that the whole thing's been orchestrated by the Master, and Buffy finds out the only way to stop all this nonsense is to destroy the Egg of Magic. This is like the thing that harvests all the magic in all of the universes. Unfortunately, Angel kills Giles, and then Buffy destroys the thing of magic, and that's how we end Season 8. It's not a great season. I prefer Season 9. Now, in Season 9, Willow is going around trying to reignite magic. Angel is trying to make up for what he did to Giles by bringing Giles back to life because he wasn't himself. And now he's a vampire, and Faith needs to stop him. One of the best parts of that story is when they find out Drusilla, the vampire that turned Angel into a vampire, or rather turned him into Angelus, the evil vampire, she's still around, and she had a demon take out all her craziness. So now she's sane. So now we have a sane Drusilla. Faith wants it done to her as well because she feels like all the bad girl stuff that she did is still inside her, just like creeping up and waiting to get out, and she can't control her darker impulses to be a bad person, and it's really hard for her. And her father shows back up and causes all sorts of drama, and Angel slaps it out of her. Great character development with that whole story. Over in Buffy and Spike kind of start dating, you know, in a way. Like, she's kind of sort of forgiven him for you know, what he tried to do in season 6, and he's still a good guy. Angel teams up with his son, and they have to go to the hell dimension that he was trapped in for many years in order to put together the pieces of the puzzle they need to bring back Giles. In the end, Giles is brought back to life, but unfortunately he's brought back as a child, like 12. It doesn't quite work out for everybody. Buffy creates like a council of magic people in order to help the new laws of magic, which have been written in the big vampire book. Do you remember that big vampire book that Giles gave Buffy in the very first episode? That's still around. And in it, they can create all the rules of magic. Because the magic was destroyed, Dawn, Buffy's sister, who was like made of magic and brought to life by magic, starts dying and kind of disappears. And then when she comes back, she doesn't like remember a lot of things. She doesn't have the same feelings for Xander anymore. So that's a big like kabloo. Then we come back and Angel into season, what are we up to now? So we're up to season 10. Okay, so season 10, Angel is now the sheriff of Magic Town, because when the magic came back, this magic bomb exploded in England and a bunch of people became like magic creatures. Unfortunately, they're still like human, but then they got like monster features, or they got magical powers. They don't know how to deal with it. And Angel kind of becomes the de facto sheriff of the town, so a lot of people go to him for guidance. There's also the problem with the demon that created the vampire thing. The thing that makes demons vampires. So don't forget, in the Buffyverse, vampires are actually demons wearing the human body. The soul is destroyed and they're wearing the human body with all the memories intact. So the demon, whose name I can't even pronounce, teams up with Drusilla. And Drusilla is running an all-girl private school that Faith gets a job at, and she wants to create like an army of vampires, and the vampires also get some of Dracula's powers. Yes, the Count Dracula from that episode Buffy vs. Dracula has returned multiple times, and the vampires are now able to like turn into bats and fly and turn into mist, so they have all sorts of cool vampire powers, and it makes them a little tougher to kill as well. They're not just so easily to get staked like Buffy normally would. One of the members of the council, D'Hoffryn, has been plotting behind everyone's back. D'Hoffryn, the vengeance demon that Anya used to work for, that was introduced in season 3. And he has been working with like this ghost version of Anya and manipulating things behind the scenes. We also officially get a Buffy Spike romance, which is so lovely and awesome. James Marsters even wrote a one-shot called Spike Into the Light, which takes place between season 6 and 7 when he gets his soul before he goes back to Sunnydale. It introduces this character that he saves, which is based on his wife that he told me about at a Comic-Con that I was at when I got to meet James Marsters. Angel's book ends with all the Magic Town people and Faith and Angel, who are friends again, of course, teaming up to fight Drusilla and the demon that created the vampires. And they're able to defeat it with the unfortunate loss of a couple of their allies. And over in Buffy, they're able to stop D'Hoffryn. And Buffy creates a brand new magic council. Another magic council. This time, a little bit more open-minded. So she has, for representing the Slayers, herself, representing magic, good magic, is Willow. Representing the United States government is Riley. Then we have that weird demon from Angel that would drink the blood of his little servant person. It was really gross. And Count Dracula is on the council as well. So she really mixes it up with people that she can trust and doesn't trust. The other Magic Council were pretty much composed, with the exception of D'Hoffryn, of people who were relatively all good, but she realized she needs to mix it up because everyone needs like a say at this council of magic supernatural beings. With season 11 now starting, I think this is going to be the final one from Dark Horse because every season has been shorter and shorter. Season 10 of Buffy and Angel were 25 issues apiece, and season 10 of Buffy and Angel were 25 issues apiece, and now season 11 are only going to be 12 issues apiece. A lot of this is based on Joss Whedon's like original script ideas that he had for the continuation of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Because every one of the comic books he's listed as executive producer. The artwork in a lot of the comic books is done by Rebecca Isaacs, and she is a phenomenal artist. She's so good. And the writing is done by Christos Gage, and he is spectacular. Those two work together so well. I would never ask for anyone else to work on the Buffy the Vampire Slayer comic books other than these two. If it is anybody else, I probably won't buy it, just because what they do together is fantastic. And over in Angel, you have Karina Becker and Geraldo Borges. Christos Gage and Rebecca Isaacs were working on Angel and Faith during Angel and Faith season 9, and they jump shipped over to Buffy. And then Angel and Faith have had kind of like rotating people working on their book. All of the seasons of Buffy, seasons, you can buy the DVD box sets, seasons 1 through 7, and the seasons 1 through 5 of Angel. But all of the comic books, seasons 8, 9, 10 of Buffy and Angel are all collected by Dark Horse. I really recommend checking them out. They collect them in omnibus, so you can collect them in the individual trade paperbacks. Again, I'm not a big fan of season 8, so you might want to skip it, but that's just my opinion. I think it's where season 9 is where the story really picks up, and then you have the Angel Faith companion book as well, which is fantastic. If you love supernatural horror comic books, if you love the Joss Whedon Buffy the Vampire Slayer universe, pick up these comic books. Don't forget to check out my show, guys, Dr. Chris's Radio of Horror. Please like and subscribe to this video and check out the rest of the content we have at dreadcentral.com.